Wizards. Let's start this one a little differently. Let's discuss freedom for all. What does that mean? What does freedom for all actually mean? It means to live life on your own terms, not being a part of the rat race, being able to achieve absolutely everything you desire, not having to worry about even paying any bills. Wizard Partners, as you may already know, this is now your new stream of income alongside trading. This is your chance to become your own boss. So welcome to Wizard Partners and welcome to the Wizard Podcast episode 40. Wizard Partners will be launching very soon. As any of you have been asking, there are 0 requirements. The only requirement you need is the need and want to get paid. So to break this down very quickly before we actually jump into the podcast, you become a partner, you create your partner link, you earn and get paid. It couldn't be any simpler. It's as simple as that. This is your chance now to work alongside us and join the Wizard team. So the question is, are you actually ready to say goodbye to your 9 to 5? Because I was, and I know many other Wizards are already preparing to get rid of that 9 to 5 and finally achieve freedom for all. So to celebrate the launch and the upcoming launch of Wizard Partners, not to mention we've actually selected a few partners already, we're going to dedicate this podcast, number one, to actually identifying, most importantly, how to generate as much wealth as possible in the crypto market. And this actually comes from a tweet I posted earlier and something I posted within the members chat, in the Wizard chat, of course, for the lifetime members of CryptoWZRD. What I posted was a little breakdown, and I'll actually get this post up myself right now, just to quickly refer back to what was being discussed. And what was being discussed was a news article that I posted today regarding, again, I do not listen to news articles regarding analysts or experts or any of these people you see, even from Bloomberg, giving price predictions. But one thing that caught my attention in this article was the headline. It said a rally to $9,000 doesn't change the current Bitcoin bear market, and I absolutely agree. That's why I've been so fixated on that $6,000 to $5,000 region, because it just doesn't make sense. And this is why I said to people in the beginning of the year, when we actually hit that $14,000 milestone for BTC, annual highs, brilliant, beautiful. But I said from the very offset, $8,500 and at least $6,000 will be coming through before we see or even consider any form of bull run being initiated. For many people, this could be a negative. This could be something that may even scare you because you want the bull run now. But you do not realize, even if you think you're ready, even if you think you're prepared and you want the bull run now, you may think you have enough holdings, but the truth is you can never have enough cryptocurrency. We are on the verge right now, and I've been discussing this with a few close friends today as well, so it's fresh in my mind. It's something I want to discuss and throw it out there. We are on the cusp of something here that is truly going to revolutionize the world as we know it. Whether or not we do actually shift into an entirely cashless society, we'll get into that a bit later on. But all I know is right now, we are borderline about to explode. No matter what we do at this point in time, there is no going back when it comes to cryptocurrency adoption. We cannot see the death of crypto anymore, because the truth is the market has gone too far to come back. We have made it too far in terms of adoption, in terms of public interest. And here's the best part. We've made enough public interest for the space to thrive. But the truth is, we are still in the absolute infancy stage, and I've been thinking about this recently. So before we get into this, we'll just go over the article as well and why I said BTC still needs to correct lower. And the truth is, you always hear the saying, buy low, sell high. How hard could it actually be? The truth is, it's incredibly hard to actually achieve, because it's all easy looking at historical price action saying, yeah, I would have bought there, I would have sold there. But when it comes to the real life moment, it's physically impossible if you do not have the correct training, the correct mentorship, and the correct understanding of not just life overall, but the markets, candlestick recognition. There is an incredible amount of brain power and thought processing action and experience that is needed to actually achieve a successful trading career. It's taken me years. I've been doing this since 14 years old. I'm 24 now. It's taken me an incredibly long time to overcome every single hurdle that's been there, every step of the way, every L that's just repetitively beaten me down, whether that's from life overall, if the universe throws tricks. It doesn't even have to be in trading, but it goes for any aspects in life. Before you can actually gain that skill set to even consider buying low and selling high, it's an acquired art form. It's the same as anything. There's a reason we have 5-star Michelin star chefs and stuff and restaurants, because you have to acquire that skill set. There's a reason, a Bugatti. There's a reason a Bugatti will only get service, and they only recommend servicing it at a Bugatti factory or with a Bugatti specialist. You wouldn't buy a Bugatti and then go and give it to someone who deals with Fords or not even Ford, it could be anything, but you wouldn't give it to someone that isn't based upon that specific skill set, because they have acquired a skill set for that specific technology, for that specific vehicle. It could be for anything. But the truth is, when you start looking at this market, the reason why I've said from the offset the Bitcoin price will fall lower, because think about this from your perspective first of all. Personally, the whole purpose of this podcast as well is to tell you there isn't much money in BTC anymore, especially for the regular retail trader. I do not care if it has first mover advantage. I do not care if it's called the king. I do not care if it's the throne holder or if the dominance is above 60%. I do not care, because I look at things logically. I'm biased. I strip away. I keep it brutally real. And the truth is, right now, is Bitcoin the most profitable investment in terms of crypto or in the crypto world? Absolutely not. And just because it's been the longest standing, it doesn't mean it's the most profitable. It doesn't mean it's the most secure one to invest in. The truth is, just because it's withstood the test of time, Bitcoin, and I'll throw this out there right now, is arguably the most centralized cryptocurrency in this entire market and within this entire space. The reason being is, let's put China first and foremost. I've covered this the other day as well. China, the government, first of all, 2017. Let's go back to 2017. How many times did China threaten to ban cryptocurrency? How many times did they do that? And what happened every single time? The market went into a chaotic destruction. There was threats left, right, center. We'll ban crypto here. We'll ban crypto there. And the market suffered as a reality. The truth is, Satoshi's vision died a very long time ago. Bitcoin has become manipulated, heavily manipulated. The Chinese government, first and foremost, we have to remember, the governments, if they really wanted to, they could shut down crypto in a heartbeat. It's not hard for them to do so. We cannot ever, especially not in this route or anytime soon, bypass the banks and governments with cryptocurrency, because the truth is, the governments, and especially the US government, there's many different conspiracies regarding this, and I'll get into some of those conspiracies in the future as well, because I'm a big believer in many of that stuff. But the truth is, and there's a big thing that I believe in personally, that the NSA actually created Bitcoin as a means of government surveillance, and it's very true. Because as much as we say it's peer-to-peer, blah, 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 the best example is the dark web. How many marketplaces get shut down? Because they're being identified via their transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain. Everything is transparent. Now, with transparency comes full oversight and visibility of every single move. This is why I actually believe there will be a cashless society soon. Why would there be a cashless society? What is the benefit to this? Well, first and foremost, what's the main advantage of cash? You can avoid tax. You can go under the radar of the government. But what happens when every single transaction is being monitored on a peer-to-peer ledger? A ledger which is open and fully transparent for all to see. That means every single thing you do will be trackable, identified, and you can easily, they could obtain you. They could obtain every single bit of personal information or data. There's a reason all these people get caught on the dark web. The crypto space and industry, and this is why I do not believe in private coins or privacy coins, because it does not exist. There is no such thing as privacy in this modern day world and in this society. In this government surveillance state that we currently live in, this is non-existent. It does not exist. We are not private. Nothing we do is private by any means necessary. Our devices, they're listening 24/7. Data is the biggest commodity in the world right now. You know, when you talk to Siri, and again, if I say Siri now, hey Siri, will the phone turn on? Maybe not. Okay, that's good. That's probably a good sign. Hey Siri. There's Siri. Thank you. So, Thank you, Siri, for coming on. First and foremost, for that to even come on in the first place, that means it's been listening already. That means 24/7 that microphone is on listening. There is a reason being. I've got the I think it's the Bose sound systems. I don't know which ones they are. I think it's Bose. Whatever it is, I've got those sound systems in my room with the speakers, and it's got Alexa on it. What do you do? Hey Alexa, guess what? Alexa switches on. That means 24/7 Alexa is listening, waiting for your call. Just because it's not there or the light isn't on, it has to be listening to obviously hear you in the first place. Now, call me crazy, but that sounds like 24/7 surveillance to me. And what happens with all of this data? Does it go into the air and evaporate? No, it does not. It is right there in a cloud, in a big cloud above our heads. It's being digitalized and it's being compressed, or it's being encoded into different formats and saved in a massive online, I am talking a colossal online database. Our data is not protected to some extent because it's easily accessible. We saw what happened with Cambridge Analytica. We are being surveilled 24/7. Now, putting this all into perspective and looking at what is going on in the crypto space right now, we realize that the threat to Bitcoin is its manipulation. The majority of hashing power, again, there was an article on this recently that I posted, is coming from China. Now, what that means is around 70%, 65-70% of the entire hash rate and hashing power is coming from China. Now, when it comes to, a decentralized network, anything near 50% alone is absolutely ridiculous. There is a reason why they say a 50% hack and attack, because it's a massive threat to the entire ecosystem. So what happens when 70% of the entire network's power is being controlled and compromised by a single country or a single collective of entities? Let's just say a few Chinese mining pools. Now that we know that the governments have access to technically ban cryptocurrency, what would happen if the Chinese government were to seize every single mining pool? What if they would just click their fingers one day and just shut it down? They would have the entire Bitcoin network in their hands. They could do whatever they please. They could do whatever they please because they would then control the entire network. And this is the leverage that China currently has on the US. You're hearing about the trade wars, all of this stuff that's going on. China no longer care because they know the US dollar is weakening anyway. They do not care anymore. All they want is to finish the job, and they have that power to do so. There's a reason they're pushing to create the digital currency, I guess the whole economy they're looking to create that's going to be digitalized. China are no longer here for Trump's trade wars. They don't care. Measly trade wars. Do what you want to do. Just do what you want to do. They don't care because they're working on something bigger, because they know whilst the US are so busy being on the high horse, being on a pedestal to try and block crypto or try and just stop crypto from thriving as much as it should. We're so busy having bills passed back and forth, test pilots, conversations about what's a security and what's not. China don't care. China are there to get ahead because they know in a matter of time things are going to change. Now, if that's not enough, you actually have to consider, now that we have CME futures, for example, we have institutional capital on board. So you've got 70% of the network being controlled by a single country and a collective bunch of mining pools. Now the remaining 30% is what? Trading, speculative capital? No, it's institutional traders, it's the banks, it's the institutions, the FIs. The people, let's just say CME futures, when did it come out? The middle of December 2017. Bitcoin was at all-time highs. We've never returned to that price ever since. So that tells me Bitcoin is under a lot of pressure, and it's not as speculative as you may believe. It's centralized down to its very core. You can argue all you want, all this maximalist stuff, we have no time for it. I do not care. I'm here to provide the brutal truth, and this is the brutal truth. Now, think about these institutions now for a second. And first and foremost, actually, before we get into that, getting onto the Bitcoin point further. So the reason I was saying the whole centralization point and the whole point of a digital future is because the banks and governments, and this is what the US are worried about so much, tax evasion. God forbid, tax evasion, the biggest scam of them all, tax evasion, blah, 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 whatever's going on. Well, guess what? If you actually shift the entire world onto a open, transparent ledger, you have full transparency to everything. So when you put all of this into perspective, crypto actually seems like an agenda from the very beginning to slowly but surely edge every single human being and get them adjusted and prepared for the digital revolution that's coming. This doesn't mean life is going to be bad. It doesn't mean we will suffer. It does mean we will be getting incredibly wealthy from this. But guess what? So will the banks and governments. Because when the entire world begins generating wealth, the people that are on board from now, that is, people like us, people that are here from the very beginning, we are the people that are going to make fortunes. Now, of course, this does come at a cost, because eventually every single transaction, every single ounce and inch and dollar or cent of profit that has been made will be available on this ledger for the whole world to see, for every government, for every bank, for everyone to see. And what that means is we will make a lot of money. But guess how much money the governments will make from the taxation? Imagine that, taxing every single person that makes an incredible amount of money when this rocket ship truly takes off and launches itself into the stratosphere. That's the first and foremost reason on why the crypto revolution is going to be absolutely insane. That's just one point to mention, but let's just push this further now. Looking at the market right now, looking at Bitcoin, so you're an institution, you know that after CME futures they control the market. Why would you, as an institution, if you do actually buy low and you sell high and you have the power to manipulate the market, why would you buy at $20,000? Why would you buy at $15,000? Why would you buy at $10,000 when there's clearly uncharted territory just below at $6,000 to $5,000? And realistically, $10,000 is a very big psychological key level for Bitcoin. It's where the last prior swing high was. So we know when we break that $10,000 region, all hell is likely going to break loose, and that will be the catalyst for that $16,500 movement that I'm talking about. The movement that takes us straight to that $16,000 to $16,500 zone. It will be a single catalyst, and it will be a very large breakout. Now that we've actually solidified that level into stone by rejecting it and creating a new swing low, or a swing high, so to speak, now that we understand that and we know that level's there, and knowing that the banks and governments, they trade multi-millions, which means for us margin and retail traders, yeah, we may make a good bit of money off a small few $100 movements in Bitcoin, but these entities are making multi-millions because they're investing multi-millions. So imagine how much money and how much wealth they will generate by dropping the price lower, by manipulating the price lower, at least even 50%. Buying Bitcoin, let's just say you buy $500 million worth of Bitcoin at $10,000. That's good. You're going to make a lot of money regardless. But if you know you have the power to drop it to $6,000 to $5,000 anyway, and slash 50% off the current price of $10,000, why wouldn't you do so? And this is what I've been saying since the beginning of the year, even when we were at $14,500, because I know how these entities work. I study this. I do this for a living. This is my job. This is my passion. This is how we have had a very successful year in terms of calls, a win rate way over 90%, and that comes from studying the market. That comes from using real-time data and analytics, exactly what is being implemented into the Wizard platform as we speak, the Traders Hub. I've been testing it before it goes live. That is how I've managed to achieve this 90% plus win rate for the entirety of 2019. That is just the tiny speck. As I've mentioned before, that's the single Rice Krispie in the cereal bowl of how this actually goes down. But the truth is, Bitcoin, it's not profitable anymore for the normal person, the average Joe, people like me and you who want a fighting chance of succeeding in this corrupted society we live in. How do we have a chance? What person in the right mind, bearing in mind the average person has less than $2,000 to $3,000 or pounds in their savings account. That's the average person and family, by the way. This is all on Google. You can just go on Google and search it. You can go into, there's there's spreadsheets, there's research, there's all kinds of legitimate proven facts and research and polls and everything you can imagine that's been done into this research, and it's all available in the public domain to see. So if the average family or the average person, let's just say, has less than $2,000 to $3,000 liquid to their name, how are these people meant to make money when a single Bitcoin, a single unit, one whole Bitcoin costs more than what they have in their entire bank? It may be more than their entire life savings. Where is the profitability in that? And this is the example I use today. If you want to get rich from cryptocurrency, it's good to have, remember as well, there's no such thing as diversification in this market. Bitcoin's dominance is over 60%, which means no matter what we do in this market, besides a few alts here and there which have a breakout higher, that's not really a accurate statistic to take away from what I'm saying. Bitcoin controls the market, which means whatever it does, the majority or almost 99% of the market will follow. The only difference is that other coins that follow, the altcoins, are disgustingly and massively cheaper, which means if they're going to be following that movement anyway of whatever Bitcoin does, why would you invest predominantly in Bitcoin unless you have multi-millions liquid and you're able to capitalize off the others? But even then, it doesn't make sense, because just because Bitcoin is the first coin in existence and the founder of the market overall, it does not mean it's more profitable. Because again, I mentioned this earlier, if you buy Bitcoin right now and you are to sell at all-time highs, you would make a modest 179%. Okay, good money, definitely beats the stock market, definitely saves you the hassle of trying to trade it from Forex. That's good, that's granted. But then if there's other coins out there, Litecoin, Ripple, Ether, they've been around for a fairly good time. Ether, the ICO, not too bad, it hasn't been too long, but Litecoin and Ripple in particular, they've withstood the test of time just like BTC has. And I use XRP as an example because of the price point. Why would you buy something that's going to follow the rest of the market anyway? The whole market moves in synchronization, so you cannot physically diversify. There's no such thing as diversification in the crypto market right now until we see all of these altcoins decouple from Bitcoin, until we see that dominance drop, and until we see an altcoin actually exceed the market cap of Bitcoin. Not that market cap is relevant, because it's meaningless. It's not a meaningful measurement to use for price predictions or anything. This is not the stock market. This is cryptocurrency. We do not measure the potential projections and capabilities of a coin, and we do not limit the potential capabilities of a coin either by the market cap measurement, because it's meaningless, and I can promise you that. We saw it in 2017, and I love using Ripple as an example. Yes, I have a lot of Ripple, granted, everyone knows that. I'm not here to hide away from that, but I'm not shilling it. I'm just telling you this is why I actually opt for this, and why I'm just using a very logical approach here. Why would I buy something for $8,000 or $7,000 when I can buy something that's currently at 22 cents? So Bitcoin, if bought now and sold at all-time highs, I would make 179%, which is great. But if I buy XRP right now and sell it at all-time highs, I'll make around 1400% off a movement that is going exactly where Bitcoin is going anyway. And this is the secret. The secret is not to have loads of junk coins in a portfolio. The secret is to have a balance of two. 20 to 30% of your portfolio should be Bitcoin, purely for the, I guess you could say, ease. To sleep peacefully at night knowing that you have invested at least some portion of your capital into a coin that has withstood the test of time, a coin that is very likely going to go higher. Why is Bitcoin likely going to go higher? Because there is a specific interest in it. It's being manipulated. The price is being dragged lower to, number one, shake out the weak investors, and number two, to capitalize as much as possible in this current stage before these institutions, banks and governments do decide to unleash the guns and blow this market through the roof. Because when that next parabolic run comes, it's either you're on board or it's going to be too late. And this is what people do not realize. No matter what happens, the market's going to explode at some point anyway. So it makes more sense to actually become, and the reason I'm even calling this How to Become a Crypto Millionaire is because you can physically do so at this present point in time. The majority of altcoins, especially the ones that I give to the members and the ones that I've given to my members before and the ones I'll be covering in a video in a day or so as well, I'm going to be showing you some strategies around this and how to actually utilize these coins in their current price point to adapt with margin trading and long-term investing combined to become a crypto millionaire. I've achieved the same thing. It's not hard. It's actually very easy. You just need to follow simple, strict, and guidelines, principles, whatever you want to call them. You have to follow a very certain protocol, and I can promise you it's easy to become a millionaire in cryptocurrency. You're not going to become a millionaire in Bitcoin because it's too expensive. The people that have become millionaires from Bitcoin, the time has passed. The same way, if Ripple was to go to $500 tomorrow, I would tell you it's no longer a profitable investment. It may be profitable, but why? Again, actually, that's a good point. I've actually counter-argued myself there. Bitcoin is still profitable. Of course it is. 179% is miraculous in this modern day and age. The world has not seen return on investments, ROIs, like the cryptocurrency market has seen. It's still the best performing asset class in the world because it's just phenomenal, the growth we've seen. Absolutely phenomenal. This year alone, Bitcoin started at $3,000. Look at where we are now. Even if we fall to $5,000 or $4,000, we've still ended the year better off than we did when we first started 2019. Put this into perspective. It's still profitable, but if you are here and you are investing and you're fortunate enough to be involved in the market at this very point in time, why on earth would you not opt for the more profitable alternatives? Because I promise you, once this ship sets sail, if you are not on board now, if you are not scooping up every last penny and every last bit of crypto, you are going to miss out. And it's as simple as that. That's the brutal, honest truth. It's either you're on board now, the same thing we said with the Wizard family. You either join or you get left behind. And I can promise you right now, the lower crypto falls, the more we start seeing this drop lower. I consider this drop a refuel. I consider the market as a rocket ship. Let's just say it's a spaceship. Let's just say Elon Musk has created the cryptocurrency market and he's getting ready to launch it to the moon. As we stay on the ground floor right now, and we are on the ground floor, just as a rocket is before takeoff, it's on the ground before it lifts off. The majority of the market is over 90% down, and some of the altcoins are even lower than what they were when they first got listed on exchanges. That means you've got a second chance at life, a second opportunity to jump on board a market which is lower than it's ever been before. This is where the weak hands flee, they run away, they run to safety, but this is where the smart money is capitalizing. They are scooping up that crypto at a discount. Remember in 2017 at all-time highs, how many people bought at all-time highs, but they won't buy now because they're too scared. But this is the thing. And you know the saying, scared money don't make no money. And if you're too scared to invest now, you are going to miss out in a few years' time. Because if this truly does become a cashless society, if we truly do see this shift, and to be honest with you, I'm sure you guys have seen the statements on XRP as well. You've seen all the news articles, all of these corridors that are opening. The ODL is expanding at a phenomenal rate. So when you start piecing together the pieces of the puzzle, it's actually starting to make perfect sense. Yes, it's not an instant overnight thing, and I'll never tell you that. This is a long-term investment like anything else. But if you are not involved from this stage, the market could start taking off from next year. And the reason I say this is the BTC halving. And with the hash rate increasing and the power increasing, this may come earlier than the original expected May 2020 dates. This could be coming in potentially April or March if we see a continuation and growth as we are seeing now. From 2020 to 2021, the way the market works, we're looking at around 4-year cycles, 3 to 4 years. We have now bottomed. We may see, and again, even though we are still low, it's still an incredible time to buy now. In the grand scheme of things, let's just say Bitcoin. If you were a multi-millionaire investor or an institution, buying Bitcoin now is still incredibly profitable. $7,000 isn't really that much different from $6,000 to $5,000 in the grand scheme of things. Because what if it does become worth $100,000 per Bitcoin one day? What if XRP does become $100 per XRP one day? It doesn't really matter if you buy at 22 cents or if you buy at 30 cents or if you buy at 40, 50 cents. It doesn't matter if you look at the grand scheme of things and if you understand the potential, if you're willing to buy now. And again, this is the strategy here, 20 to 30% in Bitcoin for the safe and secure side, but the majority of your money should be split between maybe 5 to 10 altcoins. Not 15, not 20, not 30, not 100. Even 5 altcoins are fine. Even 2 or 3 altcoins are fine. It's much easier and much more profitable to put in the work, do the research. Again, this is all in the Wizard platform as well, in the course section. You guys have seen this. I show you exactly how to identify the most profitable cryptocurrencies and how to actually do your due diligence and your research into every single coin. Once you understand what to find and what to look for in a project, all you need to do, let's say you have $50,000 or even have $10,000 or $1,000, whatever the number is, instead of trying to split that $1,000 between 50 to 100 altcoins in hope that it will blow to the moon, there's no point. It's much better to actually split that payment in half maybe, or split it between 5 different altcoins. Split $1,000 into 5 different altcoins or 10 different altcoins and leave it there. if you're a big investor, you start exceeding the six-figure region, you've got $100,000. Why not just put $20,000 into each one? Or put, I don't know, $10,000 into each one. That way you've got a small but very precise and selective pot. Now what this means is, when the next bull run comes, the most solid projects and the projects with, I'm not going to say promising team because I absolutely hate that phrase, but the projects with the most potential, the ones that have already withstood the test of time, the ones that have excelled when the market thrived during the bull run, the ones that are still present now during a bear market, the ones whose projects are still making progress even when the price has been sunk and battered to hell. Those are the projects you invest in, and those are the projects that will make you millionaires. Those are the projects that will make you rich without doing the hard work. The only hard work you need to do is doing the research. Once you've done the research and you've understood what to invest in, it's a no-brainer. It's a win-win situation. And this is what I try to tell people. Just because we know about cryptocurrency, just because we understand and we live and breathe cryptocurrency, we think we've left the infancy stage. That is lie. That is an absolute lie. It's incorrect. We have not even left the infancy stage yet, because we think crypto is popular because we're in a community of crypto enthusiasts. We are cryptocurrency enthusiasts and investors. So we've invested into this space. But I promise you right now, you go out into that street and go up to a random person and say, I want XRP, I want Litecoin, I want Bitcoin. Can you send me Bitcoin? Or I will accept Bitcoin. Or in fact, go to a shop. And if you went to a shop or you opened a shop and you accepted Bitcoin and only Bitcoin, the average person wouldn't even know how to get the Bitcoin in the first place. They wouldn't even know where to acquire the Bitcoin. They would have no clue whatsoever. So how would these people know how to set up a wallet, how to transact, how to use two-factor authentication? Excuse me. No one has a clue. And this is the reality of it. Only 5% of the world right now probably even know or understand how to use cryptocurrency. But this is the beauty. In behind the scenes, the fundamentals are growing stronger. The banks, the governments, every single entity that has an influence or the ability to control this world is already investing in cryptocurrencies. It's investing in blockchain technology. It's getting ready. The Internet of Things is growing bigger and bigger by the day. So behind the scenes, although the price is low, just like how we had the bull run in 2017 with no real fundamentals to back it, well, guess what? It's almost 2020 now. We're starting a new decade. And now the fundamentals have exponentially grown and outweighed the technicals, which mean price is now heavily undervalued, but the fundamentals are massively overvalued, which means the technicals now need to catch up to create an equilibrium between the technicals and the fundamentals, which means we now have a huge, phenomenal room for growth, which means the majority of the world do not know yet. So in reality, you are a very incredibly fortunate person to be involved in the market at this point in time. I cannot express this further. This is literally a once in a lifetime opportunity. Our parents and the older generation, our grandparents, they would have killed for this opportunity to change their lives. It's right there for the taking, and no one's willing to take it, but we are. And we're fortunate enough to be here right now in the moment, which means every single paycheck, there should be something going in to crypto. There should be an incredible amount of research on your behalf going into these coins. And if you don't want to do the research and you don't want to learn, guess what? That's what I'm here for. That's why the Wizard platform has been founded, so you do not have to do the work. So if you do not want to do the work, that's fine. I am here to guide you every step of the way. And that's why my members are absolutely killing it right now. Some of them have made 5 times the platform money back already. Some of them now have a solidified portfolio in just under 2 weeks. It's very simple. Just put in the work. I don't have to do it for you. You can do it yourself. Either way, I want you guys involved in this space because the potential is absolutely mind-blowing, and I can see where this is heading. You are seeing celebrities, famous people, every single person is slowly starting to get involved, and you are fortunate enough to be here when the whole world doesn't even understand it yet. So imagine what happens in 2 to 3, 4, 5 years time, in a decade's time, when it has become adopted, when the whole world does now understand how to use crypto, how to send it, how to spend it, to do whatever. The price will already be in the stratosphere. It will be where there is no gravity. It will be out of sight and you will have missed your opportunity. So it's very simple. If you want to become a cryptocurrency millionaire, you follow the guidelines that I've just provided in this podcast. And I promise you, if you stick to those guidelines and you do not break them, you will become a crypto millionaire. There is no secret behind it. Even if you do not become a millionaire, and even if you do not achieve 7 figures, maybe you'll achieve 6 figures, maybe you will achieve 5 figures. And I promise you, it's more money than you would have achieved from any other market in this space of time. And the truth is, you may have to wait 2-3 years, you may have to wait 5 years, but if you're not willing to sit through that and enjoy every step of this beautiful process, then you do not deserve to be rich anyway. If you're willing to put in the work, the research, you're willing to learn, you're willing to invest, you're willing to sacrifice that paycheck, that complacency to actually invest in this space, you will become incredibly wealthy. It doesn't have to be $1 million. It can be something that means a lot to you. $50,000, $10,000, $5,000, $2,000 that you've got from the market that you wouldn't have got anywhere else is life-changing to me. If I was in desperate need of a few $1,000s and this market provided me a few $1,000s, I would consider myself wealthy because I've gone off my own back to achieve that myself. And the beauty is now, guys, Wizard Partners is about to change the whole game. No longer are you just having a stream of income from trading? You are now about to become your own boss. And this is what I was actually saying to a few friends earlier with the whole Wizard Partners vibe that's going on. You can actually utilize the paychecks that you're earning when you put in that work on the Wizard Partnership and you become a partner and you start earning those continuous paychecks and the money starts rolling in. What a beautiful opportunity to get an additional stream of income. Fund your trading account, or even better, you fill those crypto bags. You can essentially utilize this, and I'm going to say this to every partner that joins this. This is your opportunity to earn an additional stream of income, to reinvest back into the market, to build that portfolio, keep buying more altcoins, and prepare yourself for the bull run that's coming. And I assure you, by following those guidelines, you will achieve everything you desire financially within this market. Guys, episode 40 of the Wizard Podcast is over. I'm hyped. I went on a bit of a rant today. Everyone wanted a rant from me, so you got it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode 40. How we're on episode 40, beyond me, absolutely crazy, but it's fired me up. I'm ready for 2020, and if this doesn't motivate you, I do not know what will. But all I know is, if you are not following these principles, if you are not following the Wizard family, if you are not on board by now, 2020 is going to see you get left behind, because we are going to be growing at an exponential rate now, and we are not waiting behind for anybody. So this is your chance to take control of your future and become your own boss.